Hi, I'm back. This is the phase 4 part 2 of my application of K-1 visa. This part 2, I will share to you that after the refusal, I will successfully reschedule my interview May 5, 2026. I will share to you my experiences and what are the process. So the same thing, like you need the DS-160 and a copy of your confirmation page of your schedule, date, and time. Okay? It's very important. Of course, your valid passport again. You need to bring that 2x2 photos, PSA birth certificate CNMR, original copy, NBI clearance, and police clearance from abroad you lived and worked. Okay, in my case, I got on time my Hong Kong police certificate a month after, and they received it because April 17 it was done already. So May 5, it's a good timing. I had my final interview. Okay, so what is my so aside from the I will share to you in this video I will share to you my experience and documents. So let's go back. I said here NBI clearance and police clearance, then medical examination result. Of course, the brown envelope already they already on my case when I was refused that day they already give my brown envelope. But if you still have it, you need to bring it to the US Embassy and evidence of ongoing relationship since I-29F submission. Okay. And for the evidences, just a regular documentations like your photos together, chat and call logs, receipts, gifts, flight bookings, or social media accounts. That is very important. Make sure you public your social media accounts so that the U.S. Embassy or consular can easily maybe observe or research about it. It's better to be safe, okay? And to follow the rules. And then for additional backup, you can also bring your K-1 FTP or the I-797C. But in my case, they didn't ask that. I just brought it for in case they will find it. But normally, no, they don't. Then also you can bring the most important thing, petitioner financial documents or your co-sponsor documents. As I said before, I only bring the Form 134 of my petitioner and co-sponsor and the income tax return and investment account. That's all. Those are my financial documents. Okay, so let's start. Here's what happened. I remember in my initial pre-screening on May 5, 2026, I was in number 42. It's a Filipino consular. He's a male consular. He is very nice to me and he asked me some questions. So I will share to you the questions that they asked me. First, how did you meet your fiance? When did you meet in person? So you just answer briefly. So how did you meet your fiance? I said online app. When did you meet in person? I said May 12, 2024. So you need to answer short and direct and specific. How long have you known each other? I said 2 years and 6 months. When was the last time you met your fiance? I said 4 days ago because my fiance visited me like a month before my interview. So I said that was I think May 2. Yeah, yeah. Oh, so I said just May 2, so I just said 4 days ago. Or 3 days ago as far as I remember. And where? Of course, in Cebu, when did your fiance propose? That question they didn't ask me, but there is a possibility they will ask you when did your fiance propose. If they will ask me this, I will just answer like I don't remember the exact date, but it's around May of 2024. What else? Other question. What is your fiance's birthday? Where was your fiancé born? Where does your fiancé live? Or where does your fiancé living? So those are the basic questions. And sometimes they will also ask, where does your fiancé work? But in the initial screening, the Filipino consular didn't ask me about his work. He just asked me about me. Like, oh, did you work abroad? That's the important thing. He will ask us, did you work abroad? And I said, yes. And then he was glad because he received the police certificate clearance from Hong Kong. So in my case, those are the basic questions from the pre-screening interview. Okay. No worries, later I will send you some interview questions sample. Okay, in the end of the video. Now I will share to you my experience. After the pre-initial screening, I did the final interview. So for the final interview, I was so nervous because I was waiting there for more than 30 minutes or 45 minutes, around like that. 30 to 45 minutes. I was sitting for a long time, and the instruction for us is to wait until your name is called. So I need to wait. And while I'm waiting, I was praying rosary with my hands. And I keep praying like, I hope they will not ask so much questions. I hope the questions that the American consular is I could easily answer truthfully and honestly and with supporting documents in my binder or in my folder. So now, after like 45 minutes, I was called. I was in number 66. Yes, Windows 66. So, okay, there you go. Honestly, the same questions. What the the pre-screening Filipino consular has the same questions with the American consular. The difference is the in the final interview, this is it. She asked me about my fiance's job. That's a very crucial question. You know what she said? Oh, what's your fiance's job? And I said, he doesn't have a job now. I answered it directly. He doesn't have a job now. But I'm very humble. Like, oh, he doesn't have a job now, but he's looking a job so soon, like that. And then there's another follow-up question. How can he support you? Do you want to be with him? When was the last time he has a job? And I said that was 2025, March 2025. And is he living with his parents? And I said, no. Are you sure about your relationship? Are you not afraid going to the US without him having a job? And I said, and it's okay. I'm hoping that he told me he will find a job so soon once we get there. And he has a savings and investment. And we have a co-sponsor. And then after answering that way, she said, okay, give me all your financial documents. So I gave all the financial documents, not specific, but in general, like give me all the financial documents. So I gave everything, the investment for 134, the IRS tax return. That's it. And then she told me like this. Okay, wait a second. I will close the window for a while. So she closed the window, maybe 1 to 2 minutes. I was standing there waiting for her and I feeling nervous really. And she was talking to her, maybe her superior or her supervisor. And when she came back, she's typing on the computer. I thought she's taking down notes about my situation. And suddenly she get a white paper. You know the white paper. I think I have the white paper here. And I was really nervous. Like, I have this white paper here, like a pamphlet. And she said, "You're approved." Then I was shocked. Like, "Is it true I'm approved?" I asked her. "Yeah, you are. You just need this pamphlet. Like, you need to scan the code there for you to know your rights in the US and how you like protect yourself there." Then after that, I get the white paper and she asks me two more questions. That question is, um, if I don't know the exact question, but the meaning of the question is, if you do you feel harm when you go to the United States of America? And I said no. The second question, do you feel harm in case you will go back to Philippines or someone will hurt you like that? And I said no. Are you sure? Again, I will ask you a question. She repeated four times that question. And I said no. Then the fourth question, you can answer based on the questions. She said, like, make a sentence based on the question. So I said, no, I don't feel harm or hurt when I go back to Philippines. And then she said, great, you're completely approved now and you can um, go to the US. Welcome. That's it. So after that, I received a notification also in the CEAC where you can check the status of your visa and it says they're issued. If it's issued, it's already processing. And after 2 days, I think I remember May 5 and I got approved. I got an approved notification May 8 and I could pick up now my documents in Parcal, Parañaque. So that's my final interview of US K-1 visa. That is after refusal, I got approved. So I'm so glad and happy. Okay, anyway, I will just continue because I will share to you some interview questions also for fiancé visa aside my experience. Okay, so let me share my screen first. Just a second. Let me share my screen. Okay, there you go. Use this information for you to be prepared and not feeling nervous. I mean, being nervous is normal, but at least you're prepared and you have a weapon to answer properly to the consuls. So first, yeah, how did you? These are the possible questions. Okay. How did you meet your fiance? When did you meet in person? Again, make your answer direct and specific and honest, true. Okay, it should be true. Honest ka dapat. How long have you been known each other? Okay. When was the last time you met your fiance? Where? When did your fiance propose? You can answer the month and year, or much better if there is an exact date. What do you love about your fiance? When are you going to travel to the US? Have you ever been to the US? Oh, I remember this one was asked from me during pre-screening. And I said I'd never been to the US. If so, on what kind of visa did you travel to the US? How long did you stay? When did you return? What is your birthday? Yeah, your basic information. What is your fiance's birthday? This is very important. Where was your fiance born? Very important as well. What does your fiance do for a living? Normally, sometimes the during pre-screening they will ask this. Sometimes in the final screening, where does your fiance work? They will ask this. Just be honest. If he doesn't have a work, just say no. He doesn't have, rather than making excuses or whatnot. What is your fiance's designation at work? Yeah. Does your fiance have any brothers and sisters? Where does your fiance live? Yeah, you need to know about his family. Where do your fiance's parents live? Do you have any brothers and sisters? What do your parents think about this engagement? Do they approve it? When did your fiance divorce? If your fiance is divorced. But if it's not, of course, they will not ask that one. Next, why did your fiance's first marriage not work out? Does your fiance have any children? How many? How old? Do they live with your fiance? Are you willing to take care of your fiance's children if they live with him or her? When and where are you going to have the wedding? How much time have you spent together? Did you have an engagement party? Did you make a formal announcement of your engagement to family and friends? How do your families feel about your plans to get married? From our survey of applicants, here are the top questions asked. How long do you know your fiance? Yes, yes, yes. This will be asked during pre-screening and final interview. What else? How did you meet? How do you know your fiance? Have you ever been to the US? When is the last time have you seen your fiance? When will you leave the US? When did we meet in person? Yeah, meet in person. When did my fiance propose? Why was my fiance's first marriage not working out? Does my fiance have any kids? How many? How old? How do they live in? Did your fiance divorce? What's your fiance's birthday? What is your birthday? Does your fiancé have any brothers and sisters? Do you have any brothers and sisters? Where do your fiancé's parents live? Ah, yeah, this one is also asked from me during the final interview that my fiancé's parents. And what does your fiancé do for a living? Very important. Where does your fiancé live? Very important as well. The exact address. I memorize my fiance's exact address and phone number. And they will also ask, have you lived abroad? Have you worked abroad? So those are the important questions. And you can use these questionnaires as your guide before your pre-screening and final interview. So good luck. If you have comment, suggestion, or any questions about K-1 visa, just comment and I will reply as soon as possible. Thank you so much and have a good day. I hope you learned and I hope you will approve as well. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.